Wrestleverse United 2 for Who the Bell Tolls. I believe that's the title. I keep forgetting the little bit about that. I'm going to say this. Wasn't a bad show, but there was a lot of quirks in this show. I'm not going to tell you it was bad. It wasn't. It was actually pretty good at the 3200 Arena. But, I'm saying but, there was some weird quirks of this show. Particularly, something went wrong with my app. When I was looking, I want to say this right now, the 8-man scramble, did not get a chance to see it because my app just crashed. And kept crashing. In fact, by the time I was finally able to see, it was already in the Fatal 4-Way for the women going after the New Japan Pro Strong title. I only managed to see the tail end of it. But I will tell you how I felt about what little I managed to see. But the rest of the show I managed to see. I saw the kickoff and I saw everything else. But there were some weird quirks. Next to the app kept crashing on me. And then you guys tell me below. When you were watching this, if you were able to watch it, if you're not going to be seeing any type of highlights, there was 2 types of camera work. One where the lighting was perfectly fine and you could see what's in the ring. And then the other one had that weird tint with one of the other cameras on. You got the hard cam like this, like me. Then you have another camera here that looked fine. And then the camera that was on this side, on the left side of the hard cam, the color gradient was completely off. I don't know what that was. Was that meant to be done on purpose? Because they wanted to differentiate the cameras that would be done for New Japan? Or was it due to the fact that whoever was running the cameras, which it looked like it was a New Japan Pro Strong cameraman, which I don't think so, because they look like the guys that normally do the cameras. They were just wearing New Japan Pro Strong shirts. But no matter if it was Impact guys, which I think it was, or it was New Japan Pro Strong guys, the camera color was off. It looked weird. And I do not know what the fuck what that was. Now, mind you, it was a little interesting to see that they were using old style mics with cords on them, not the wireless ones, which was fine. It didn't matter to me. But let's go to the kickoff. We got a 6-man tag. We got Rocky Romero. We got Takahashi, not Tanahashi, Takahashi. I can't remember his first name. And then Master Wato. Versus, wait a minute, what was it? Uemura, Joe Henley, and I'm surprised Heath was in there. Now, let me give it to you like this. We did get Uemura getting the pin on Takahashi. He did pin him. And that was a good thing, seeing that someone from Impact Wrestling, who is a Japanese wrestler, just got a pin on a wrestler that he probably known for a while because he was a young boy in New Japan, because he came from New Japan, and now one of his fellow New Japan Pro wrestlers, or former ones, let him pin him, which was fine. I was alright with that. There was no problem with that. I was cool with that. And honestly, the rest of the match was not bad. But Uemura felt good to see that he was getting the shine here. It wasn't Joe Henley, it wasn't Heath. It was Yuri Uemura that got that pin, which I was fine with. I'm glad that happened. Now, the 8-man scramble, I did not see it. I did find out who won, though. I had to go to another site because my app just kept going. It started to load, and then it just kept going off. And then I'm going like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on here? Why is my app crashing? So I decided to check and even they didn't have anything. What was going on? What was it here in New York? What the hell? I'm sure everybody else managed to see it. But it was like, for some stupid reason, this happens once in a while here. Right here, where literally the app just crashes. And all I get is this, or it just cuts off before you even get it. I'm going, what? Why? And when I went to look around to see if any other sites had it, they didn't even have it. And understand, when people see if they do what we know they're doing, which I've done, I'm not going to lie about it, I've done it, especially if I don't have the cash on me. When they see it, it's coming from the app. Someone has an app, and they're streaming what they're already watching on their damn app. So if their app crashes, that means all the streams will crash. So in my case, my app, which is separate, crashed. It crashed. And I'm going like, what the fuck? So I don't know who won. But at first I didn't know who won until I had to go and look at a results site that was talking about it, like Fightful.com. And I found out that it was Chris Sabin who won, and he got the pin on Yosh. But that was Uoh, Yosh. Since I didn't watch the match, I don't know who Yosh is. I do recognize a couple of people there that I've seen before easily, like Kevin Knight, yeah. Rich Swann, yeah, of course. But Bush, I think I did see Bush once. I'm not sure. I think I've seen Bush once. I've not seen Moyo. M-A-O, Moyo. I don't think I've ever seen him. But Bush, I think I've seen once or twice. So I kind of recognize the name. So and it just pisses me off I couldn't see it. And then when it came to the New Japan Pro Strong women's title, and then we have Julia. I've never seen her before. Not until after I finally got the app finally working and I was able to watch the match. It was Julia versus Momo Kuyo. I believe I've seen her maybe once or twice. I think I saw her on DDT or Stardom once, because I have seen those other promotions a couple of times. But when I saw them was when there was no English. I know they're English and their English videos have been done. But by the time I see them as well afterward, and when you check the other sites, they're in Japanese. So it's hard to see them after the fact, after they've done their show, and they do have English in it. Not all the time they upload them onto the sites for repeat, to be able to see them in English, because usually they're in Japanese. So I don't know who they are. But I think I've seen Momo Kodo before. Of course, we got Gazelle Shaw, and we did get Deonna Purrazzo. Now, at one point, I don't know what happened, because by the time I saw it was near the tail end of it, it looked like if you saw Gazelle Shaw on her left breast, there was a big-ass bruise on there. I don't know what happened. I don't know if she got that when it was during the match or before the match. I got no freaking clue. But her titty was bruised. That's just how it is. But the person that looked the most interesting there was Julia. The second most interesting was, well, when you look at Momokoto, she is an average Japanese wrestler. She's very slender. She has a certain style. They all almost have similar style, except when they add character into it. Because when you see some of the people like Hiroko Shida and Rio seems like a typical Japanese wrestler. But when you look at Hiroko Shida, she does try to add at least a little bit more, because of how she was when a couple of years ago when she was dressing like Tifa Blackheart. She at least had that type of attitude, that type of look. Now she's looking more like most Japanese female wrestlers I've seen. And I would love to see her talk more. I would love to see more American or European or even Mexican influence to add to a character. I haven't seen it. So this is what I got. I got two wrestlers I recognize. One wrestler I think I've seen at least once in Akoto. And then Julia I've never seen before. And the match that I managed to see, at least what was left of it, was good. It wasn't a bad match. I thought if it wasn't be Gazelle Shaw, it might be the retaining champion Julia, because Gazelle got a huge amount of offense and good defense in. Kono, she wasn't bad. She's cute. I can say that as an old man, that someone's in their 20s, she's cute. I marry her. She's cute. But the point is, I can't believe I just said that. The point is, Julia seemed to be next to Gazelle Shaw, because Deonna Purrazzo didn't need to work on the character. We know who Deonna is. Gazelle Shaw really was prominent, and Julia was very prominent. But in the end, Julia won, which, if she's a champion there, I don't think she was going to lose. So it's okay. I didn't have a problem with it. It's great to see that she did maintain. But I would like to see more of her, but it depends on if I'm able to see New Japan Pro Strong, or if she's at DDT or Stardom. It depends. And I don't know if I ever have that time to see it. Now, the first match that was next was... Now, what was that? You know what? I'm not going to go in order. The match that I was surprised to see was when it was Robbie Eagle, and I can't remember the first name, but Fujita, versus TJP. And I do believe I have seen Francesco Akira once, I think. And they made it very apparent that this is the first Italian-born, and supposedly I think he won the New Japan Pro Wrestling IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. I think. I don't remember. There was a lot of titles going around talking about IWGP, so I could not keep up with it all. Since I don't watch New Japan, I don't keep up with it. Maybe one day I may just drop one of my one of the other shows I watch and maybe try New Japan Pro Wrestling or New Japan Pro Strong one of these days. But it was good to see TJP, and now he's supposed to be Catch 22, which is part of the United Empire. But these guys were from TMDK. Now, I remember TMDK. And they had a decent stable from what I remember seeing, especially with Cobb. So I was wondering how good this was going to be. And it wasn't a bad match, but TJP and Akira won. But I don't know how far that the United Empire has gone since the last time I saw them, almost a year ago, maybe once or twice. I think once I saw New Japan Pro Wrestling or a New Japan Pro Strong show, maybe once, maybe a year or a year and a half ago, I think, at this point. I don't know. Now, the next match we got, and I want to say this, I liked this match. It wasn't the best match, but it was a match I liked. Doki versus Sami Callihan. Now, Doki came out, Sami came out, and Sami made it very clear to say hello to the fans, and he said, this show needs something more. It needs a damn street fight, because he started talking about ECW and how special they are. Well, this was a good show, but he felt like it needed a little bit of ECW in it because they were in the 2300 arena. And Doki said, yes, bitch, and then basically proceeds to beat the shit out of a little bit of Sami Callihan, which I liked. It wasn't bad. I liked Doki's attitude. He made it very clear in English, yes, bitch. I am glad that some Japanese wrestlers know at least some English. They don't have to have perfect English. Just know some English and work with their characters to really utilize what bits they are mainly from Japan and what bits they gain from being an influence of maybe Mexican wrestling, European wrestling, American or Canadian wrestling, something. And he had that attitude I liked. Was he a great wrestler? He wasn't that bad, but we are talking about a street fight. And it was a rough-ass street fight, but it wasn't the roughest I've ever seen. But it was rough to a certain extent, especially at the ending when the Cactus Driver 97 was put on his ass and looked like he landed flush with his head. And this is the second time, because the first time he landed on the mat, he managed to kick out. But the second time was on 4 steel chairs, and Sammy's ass just bent up one of those chairs. I don't know how many images I managed to get, but you'll see for yourself. But it wasn't a bad match. I was alright. Sammy won. Not surprised, because he is a favorite there. He's been known there. But I'm hoping Doki will spend more time in America. He has something. I don't know what it is. But he has a certain attitude, particularly when he said, yes, bitch. You're going to get it, bitch. I think he also said that. That was cool. The 12-man tag, Bullet Club versus The World, which had DKC, I didn't recognize him. Yeah, PCO, Josh. The Gorillas of Destiny. I can't, sorry. God. Talatunga and Tonga. And Toga. These guys, I do remember them. They made my ass laugh every time when I had to think of the Gorillas of Destiny. But they're great wrestlers. Not taking anything from them. They got decent characters. They're great wrestlers. That's just me being a silly idiot, laughing every time when I hear the Gorillas of Destiny. God. It's just me. I'm just a silly, stupid idiot that's like a kid at heart. And then we got Bullet Club Gold, and Dave Finley's currently the charge running it. Now, I think I heard that he was now in charge of Bullet Club. That it's not Jay White anymore. Of course, Jay White is now in AEW, but I think I had heard him at least once on AEW that they did say Dave Finley is now running it. And seeing how Dave Finley has changed since I last saw him when he was in Impact Wrestling, it's interesting. He's a lot more vicious, more restrained, wearing kind of wearing the same style that you would think of when you think of a Finn Balor when he was Prince. I forgot what he called himself. Prince Albert. I can't remember what he called himself when he was in Bullet Club when he first started it. So I can't remember his name then. But his attitude was not bad. The match wasn't too bad for a 12-man. I just don't like 12-man tags. Guys, I'm sorry. When you got that many people in that type of tag, it is so hard to be able to see what's going on. It becomes a chaotic mess that people in the entire arena can see it, but people at home have one major problem seeing it. And next to the camera work that I told you, that one of the cameras just had a weird gradient color that threw me off. And I'm not saying that the camera work was perfect. It wasn't bad, but that just made it harder to see what the hell is going on in the damn ring. But in the end, Bullet Club did win and then beat the crap out of them afterward. Let me give it to you like this. Dave was fine. Kenta was alright. I don't know about the EFP. I don't know. I don't recognize him. He didn't do that bad of a job. He seemed pretty good, but I don't recognize him. And DKC, I don't know either. Those two, I would need to see them more often, but you get my point. Next, we got the tag match that was the second best match of the night. Trey and Lio Rush versus Tanahashi and Speedball Mike Bailey. Now, Tanahashi, he has the New Japan Pro Strong, Junior Heavyweight Championship right now? And I have heard him a couple of times, and I think I've seen him at least twice now, not counting this one. He is not a bad wrestler. He still looks like he can go pretty well. And seeing that Lio Rush and let me give it to you like this. Seeing these two work together is interesting as hell. Seeing them actually wrestle one another, when it comes to Trey and Leo, that is going to be a very extremely fast-paced match that I do not believe everyone is going to like. I'm telling you right now, the way they both work, they're both very fast-paced wrestlers that can do submission. And not everyone is going to like it. I have a bad feeling that the ones who just don't like high-flying and high-fast wrestlers are going to despise when those two actually work in Impact Wrestling. I'm telling you right now, I can see it. For me personally, I do know Trey can tell a great story because he understands to slow down when it's necessary and to play to the crowd and to play to the camera. When it comes to Leo, he doesn't do that. You could tell the way he worked. When he's outside the ring, he knows how to do it. When he's in the ring, it's not that good. Doesn't mean he's a great wrestler. He just doesn't understand that not only you got to play to the fans, you also got to play to people home. Because we like to see a little bit of joking around too. But in the end, what did we get? We got Lio Rush, who they supposedly had a match last night. Some type of festival, I think. I can't remember what it's called. Feast or Fest. He challenge Tanahashi. And in this situation, both Speedball and Leo wants his title. So in this situation, both of them wanted to pin him so badly. In this case, Leo decided, since he was basically in between his legs trying to do a sunset flip and didn't work, he went and put his arm right up in the nuts, going straight. Like, here's Takahashi's nuts. Bang! Straight there. And then he hits and he just caves in like a little baby. Who wouldn't? And he loses. And then the mic work. Now, Leo was breathing a bit heavy, so he didn't sound that great, but he made it very clear, we won. You don't like how I beat him? Tough. Kiss my ass. He doesn't say that. And Tanahashi, I want that damn title shot. I want more. I want more titles. And Trey didn't try to stop it. He just with him. And Speedball got mad because Tanahashi, he basically said, all right. And now Speedball was promised, supposedly last night, and now he's promising Leo. That means there might be a triple threat if it's going to be in New Japan Pro Strong. I'm just saying. Now, let's see. Am I forgetting anything? Let's do I forgot the Digital Media Championship. Now, I almost forgot the Digital Media Championship match. Let me give it to you like this. When it came to Kenny King with the guy that was Komaru, I believe that's his name, Komaru. It was an okay match. Wasn't great. He was a bit slow. And I'm not surprised. Kenny had to slow down a bit to it. And Kenny did manage to beat him. And Konorush tried to cheat his ass off. Pretty much Kenny's a cheater, but in this case he didn't cheat. Konoru did. But here's the interesting thing that I just checked and I saw. My friend, you know who he is, the one who loves a Johnny Swinger. He's mad beyond stink. I've only just briefly looked at one of his comments, like the first part of the sentence. He's mad as stink right now because Johnny Swinger's not going after the world title. He's going after the Digital Media Championship. And I don't know what else he said, but I'm taking a guess. He's still pissed off. And I understand. I did tell my friend, I said this over and over again. And you don't want to accept. Now, you calm down from what I could tell from the brief bit that I read of the first comment. You were mad as fucking furious, and you had to calm yourself down. That's as far as I read, because I had to come in here and do this video. When it comes down to it, I knew they were going to destroy a Johnny Swing. You love Johnny. You would have thought it was hilarious that he would win. And you thought, oh, this would be great. Let's say Johnny won. Wouldn't it be great? They won't go there. Johnny is always going to be destroyed. That is the reason why they stuck him with pretty much Kenny King. And this low-tier title is the only chance he has to actually hold gold. The only chance he'll ever have. That he can joke around with, and it won't piss people off too much. That's why they did it. I'm not saying it's fair. Of course not. If Johnny or them would just say just this once because of Santino Marella, just let him be serious just once. Stop joking around, Daddy. No more. You love him joking around. But if you really want him to have a real title, if you love Johnny as much as you do, I'm going to say this in the comments when I see you on the next Impact. If you really love Johnny, don't say it's hilarious. I want to see him joke around. No, you want him like Santino Marella in 2008, when the first time he stopped joking around, he was serious just one time to really go for a title. If you really love him, then wish for him to win. No joking. I'm just saying this. Now, what else did we have here? I think I said that Fatal 4-Way. I already talked about that. Okay, the final match, that was the best match. Now, I'm not saying it's the best match because the work in the match was the best. If you're going to be honest, Doki and Sami Callihan was the best match for me personally because it wasn't bad. And an actual match, Speedball Mike Bailey and that tag match would be the best. But here, because of Tanahashi, Hiroshu, I believe that's how you pronounce it, Hiroshu Tanahashi. I'm saying it now. This was the best match. Not because it was the best match overall. It was the best that I've seen. Hiro, I believe that's his name, Tanahashi, when he went up against Alex Shelley. This was better than the match he had at MJF at Forbidden Door. If you remember, we all watched him versus MJF at Forbidden Door. MJF, he could not even keep up with MJF. MJF had to do everything and his mother to try and make it look good. And Tanahashi just could not do it. He just couldn't keep up with it. And it looked really bad. Just Alex said he's well beyond his shelf life. And basically, JD, the same thing. They said he looked terrible. He just didn't look good. If this was years ago, he would look way better. Here, his knees are shot. He just can't get it done. But if you look at this match for what it was, this was a much better showing from Tanahashi. Tanahashi. Not Takahashi or Takahashi, but Tanahashi. I'm telling you now, this was the best showing from him. He did a decent job. Alex Shelley knew how to work with him because he's worked with him before. He trained him while he was in New Japan, so he knows how to work with him. He was not incredibly fast in the match, and that was Alex, only when with certain points. And Tanahashi, he knew when to do it because he knows Alex so well. He was able to time it well. When it came to MJF, he just didn't know his timings. Here, the match flowed way better. It just flowed better. Tanahashi just looked way better. And I liked the match. That's the reason why it's the best match. Because it's the best match I've seen him. I've seen him before. He's been in Impact Wrestling a couple of times. And he has worked with some people that he recognized that can work with him and deal with his impediments. In other words, both his knees being shot. So in the end, you got Alex winning. But at least Hiroshi Tanahashi just looked really much better than he did in Forbidden Door, and that was months ago. He just looked way better. Should you watch this in a replay? Yes. You can watch it. I don't know about the scramble, the 8-man scramble. I don't know if it was great or not. Like I said, I couldn't see it. The women's Fatal 4-Way for the New Japan Pro Strong women's title, I just didn't get a chance to see all of it, but it was pretty good. Julia looked the best. And Momo Koto, I liked her, but I don't know what it was. Maybe she's just damn cute, but I'm not saying she couldn't wrestle. I want to make this clear. She can wrestle, but she just didn't have the same thing as Shaw, Julia, then she, and then Peraza, who didn't need anything to prove to me, because I know how well she goes. This is spotlighting those two, but this is just me. Peace.